The Grassy Mountain Coal Project has become a hot-button topic for many Albertans. The proposed open-pit coal mine outside of the Crowsnest Pass is welcomed by some, but rejected by others. Bridge City News video journalist Ainsley O'Reilly examined the pros and cons of the open-pit coal mine. In part one today, the focus is on education.
Coal, Canada's most abundant fossil fuel. Coal is a mineral that's formed from the remains of plants, buried hundreds of millions of years ago. It forms under intense heat and pressure. Coal is used to generate electricity, produce wind turbines, cement, aluminum, and steel. It even powers electric cars.
You have a number of developing countries that want to have the same lifestyle that we have in North America. And to do that, they need infrastructure. And to have that infrastructure, they're going to need steel. And to need steel, you need coal.
Does Alberta want to define itself as the place that just continues to pump out raw resources faster and faster and faster because the global population wants it?
There are two types of coal. Thermal, it's lower grade, has a lower energy content and higher moisture. This coal powers 41% of the world's electricity. Then there's metallurgical coal, or coking coal.
It's used for making steel, which is a fundamental building block of our economy. So Canada is lucky to have some of the world's finest.
The most common way to extract these minerals is through open pit coal mining. Instead of drilling a hole and creating underground tunnels, a technique called surface mining extracts from an open pit in the ground. But how is this relevant to southern Albertans? The last mine in the Crowsnest Pass closed in 1983. Up until recently, the Rocky Mountains and Eastern Slopes prohibited open-pit coal mining. In 1976, Premier Peter Lougheed introduced a coal development policy for Alberta in order to set limits for the land, stating, "No mines should cause irreparable harm to the environment." In May of 2020, the UCP government rescinded this policy with the exception of Category 1 land, opening the doors for exploration for the first time in 44 years. And then on February 8th, the government retracted, saying they made a mistake.
An important part of being a responsible government is to admit when you've made a mistake and to fix it. And that's what we are doing here today.
Category 2 lands are closed for business, pending widespread consultations and introducing a new coal policy. Category 4 land is still available, which includes the highly debated Grassy Mountain Coal Project.
About 7 kilometers north of Blairmore in the Crowsnest Pass. The project itself has a footprint of 1,500 hectares. And it'll be producing about 4.5 million tons of metallurgical coal every year for 23 years.
Australian-owned Riversdale Resources has been interested in the area since 2013. In 2016, the wholly owned Benga Mining Company sent out its initial application. The project is currently under review after a joint panel with the federal and provincial government met over several weeks.
This is about the ramifications for the Lethbridge area and for the irrigation communities.
Representing the public interest, this is an area that is vastly important, not just for things like fish and wildlife, but though those are also very important to the public, but water.
The panel's purpose is to determine if the project is safe for the environment, and ultimately, if it gets the green light. The results are expected to be in by June of this year. There are two sides. People who want to see Grassy Mountain up and running and give Albertans jobs after the oil industry's collapse and a global pandemic left thousands without work. And then there are ranchers, homeowners, locals, and people from all over the country who are concerned about the environmental effects coal mining will immediately have on the land and for generations to come. Stay tuned for part 2 as questions become answers. How does the Indigenous community feel? How many jobs will be created? What about the water, the fish, tourism? For Bridge City News, I'm Ainsley O'Reilly.